Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 3. Stay tuned. Let's see what I do with the engine. Well, last episode, y'all know that the head blew. I talked to Hun at ASA. I got the car towed there. Just like in the last video, I showed y'all kind of what happened to the head. He's taking it apart. Then we're going to start the rebuild process. So right now I'm going to go over every single thing that we're going to do to the car on the rebuild process. And then we'll go through some more videos and some other stuff. I'll give you some highlights and everything that I did to the car. And then in the last part of the episode, I'm going to tease you with something pretty cool. Other than that, let's get started on this episode for episode 3.
So after I got the car towed to ASA, it was really kind of cool. I walked in. I really enjoyed looking at it. He has a lot of parts, a lot of inventory there. And so it's kind of cool to kind of walk around and look at everything that was going on with all the equipment and everything he had. But then after that is when I talked to Hun and we got started on what my build process was actually going to be. So Hun and I had actually talked over text and over the phone and everything before I actually got to the store, kind of outline everything. But when I got there, we kind of went over some extra details and everything. I had sent him my part list that I wanted, with all the stuff that we had gone over on the episode 1. With what I want for headers, exhaust, intake, all the rest of the stuff, y'all seen all that. And so we kind of outlined all that. And then, as he was working and everything, he's like, well, I have certain things that I don't have that I can't get in stock. And this was around last January too. So January of 2020 when we were doing all this. So some parts were still hard to find just like they are today. So we kind of looked at it. What could I replace and what could I do? Because, stuff was limited, At the same time, my dad still drives his car. We did want to have it in the shop for like 2 to 3 weeks, waiting on parts to come in because it was pretty much undrivable. So then we went over and we discussed what parts could he get in and what could he have, within the next couple days if you had to order anything, over the weekend and everything. Because I dropped it off on a Friday, so there's a little time for more parts to come in. So we discussed what parts could I replace and everything. So he was like, well, I can redo the valve and spring and retainer kit, with something he had in stock, which was the SuperTech. He gave me the KTuner. He had those in stock. Skunk 2 cams, and he had the race manifold in stock as well, so we were going with those. He had some KTuned products, so we went with the KTuned 70mm throttle body. And then he had a 1320 performance header in there, which is the race header. So it's basically deleted the cat as well. And then he was able to order me an Invidia K300 Q300 exhaust, which was the exhaust I was really looking forward to getting. So I was really appreciative of that, and it was a good talk. And then we also outlined some of the other stuff we wanted to do on the rebuild process in general. So pretty much rebuilt almost all the bolt-on stuff and everything that was in the engine as they pulled the head that was really easy to get to. And as you can look at this list, we pretty much dumped in almost every OEM part we could possibly replace to rebuild it. The pistons and everything were good, and the block was actually good. So it was, let's replace everything around it so we can make sure that everything's working properly. There's no, with 180,000 miles on it, definitely something can go wrong, And the last thing you want to do is, especially when you're rebuilding something, the last thing I wanted to do was not replace a certain part, and let's say the thermostat, or let's say the timing chain or something, just something that's already a part that we can replace at one time. One, it'll cut down on labor for me, but also two, it's just better to have that peace of mind that it's actually been replaced. So I was very happy about that. And then so after that, we worked out payment process and everything. And he, it's understandable, he doesn't know me, I don't know him. So he wanted, for the parts and everything. So I basically pretty much paid for about half of the ticket right up front. So that way he gets started on the build process, which wasn't bad. And then I finished off when I came to pick up the car. I paid for the rest of it. So, I think they ended up having the car out in about 4 days when you really think about it, because the weekend he really didn't work on it, But then I picked it up like the next Thursday. So it was, right about a week. And, they got it tuned, everything like that. So it was really cool. I really appreciate his honesty and upfrontness. He was very cool with me. He kept up good communication with me, which I know that's really important to a lot of people. He would text me about the build, what parts were going in. He sent me a whole bunch of pictures and videos and everything. So I'm going to go and get to those videos and pictures for y'all real quick so y'all can see kind of the build process and all the stuff he sent me. And I thought it was really cool. So let's get to those pictures and videos.